Hello. I'm this episode I'm going to talk about gun laws, gun-free zones, felons rights, mass shootings and police shootings. I'm going to tie this all together because I want to talk about the civil war that we are currently in. That's why I have this back here and this. The civil war that we are in is not so clear-cut. It is not. I'm going to explain where I'm coming from. I keep looking down. It's because I have statistics. I wrote things down. I looked things up. Now, I tried to get information on 2019, but it's not all in yet. So let's start with mass shootings in 2018. 387 people killed in mass shootings. Now, almost every one of those happened in a gun-free zone. We'll get to this because nearly 98% of all mass shootings happened in a gun-free zone. Since 1950. I didn't even know there was gun-free zones in 1950. I thought that was a 1990s thing. I can't get information on what those gun-free zones were, but I'm pretty sure they weren't school zones at the time. Because I remember going to high school and we had trucks and we had gun racks with guns in them in our parking lot and nobody was killing anybody. Since 1950, 98% of all mass shootings happened in gun-free zones. That means that one law, gun-free zones, in 1 year killed 387 people that should not have been killed. That law is leading to the death of our children. It is the reason we have mass shootings. Now, not all mass shootings happen because of felons. Most of them, the shootings occur, the person acquired the gun legally. But for the sake of this argument, I'm going to compare it to a felon. So let's say felon. They don't have the right to bear arms. Well, I'm not going to talk about that right now so much. No, I'm fibbed. Here we go. The right to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. That means that every American citizen has the right to not only own a firearm, keep a firearm, carry a firearm. It is unconstitutional to make a law that says they can't. So, we're going to talk about this unconstitutional, illegal law. So, this felon got a firearm illegally that he couldn't have. And anybody can get a gun. As a felon, I know if I wanted to get a gun, I could get a gun. But like I said in the previous video, I have 6 kids. I have no desire to risk my family. So, this felon got a gun, a little crazy, wants to kill as many people as possible. Where do they go? A gun-free zone. Why? Nobody's going to be shooting back at him. He's a coward, right? He just wants to kill as many people as possible before he dies. So he goes to a gun-free zone and he commits mass murder. Now think about this. Him getting the gun was illegal, but he got the gun because guns are easy to get, period. It's illegal to murder people, but guess what? He murdered a whole bunch of people. Now, oh yeah, and when he had a firearm in a gun-free zone, right? It's ridiculous to think that creating a gun-free zone is going to keep somebody from committing a murder, stop somebody from committing a mass shooting. Anyway, moving on. 2018, 387 people killed because of gun-free zones. And that's what I'm going to say. gun-free zones murdered 387 citizens. In 2018, 94% of mass shootings were prevented by armed citizens. 94%. Now, I'm going to guess that that's mass shootings that were attempted outside of a school zone and didn't happen. Because what is, you have to kill at least 4 or more people for it to be considered a mass shooting. And in the attempt, an armed citizen stopped them. Now, there is a small percentage of unarmed citizens that stopped these, but there's no number on that. Now, let's talk about this, keep on the subject here, gun-free zones. We count on law enforcement to protect our children when we send them to schools. Now, think about this. 94% mass shootings stopped by citizens. How many stopped by police? Most of these mass shootings end with a lot of dead bodies and the shooter committing suicide. So where are the police in this? Let's take Florida, since we're talking about 2018, where there was a school shooting in Florida going on. Well, 4 trained, armored sheriff deputies hid behind cars outside the school while 17 people were being murdered, killed, in a gun-free zone. I mean, maybe the cops were afraid to take the guns in there. It's a gun-free zone. I don't know. Maybe they were afraid to break the law. Quite frankly, I think cops are cowards. If we want to be safe, our safety depends on us. And any one of you that are into prepping or you're in a militia, you know the government's not there to help you or protect you, and they won't be. You have to take care of your own. You have to take care of your family. Now, on the subject of police, moving on. I'm going to tie this all together in videos, right? See here. 2018, 1,166 people killed by police. Can you guess how many of those were unarmed? 385. The police killed 385 unarmed citizens. Now, how many citizens were killed in mass shootings? 387. Now, this is unarmed that were reported. Now, you can theorize that some of the, there's a few officers out there that dropped a knife on scene or dropped a gun on scene. But we don't need to do that. We don't need to assume this. We're working on numbers here. That's 772 unarmed citizens killed because of laws or law enforcement. And we're not counting FBI, any of the other. 385, that's just a huge number of people that should not be dead. And that's another reason that I say police are weak and cowards, because there's no reason you should have to shoot an unarmed person. Period. You have mace, you have tasers, you have multiple other options. To go straight to lethal force, you're either a coward or a murderer. Or both. Why not both? Give them the benefit of the doubt here, right? If you actually want to end mass shootings, it would simply start with ending gun-free zones. The numbers don't lie. It's that simple. But it's not about saving lives. It's never about saving lives. We all know that. It's about guns. It's about taking guns away from citizens. It's about taking guns away from you, just like they did me, right? So if you live next to a school or in a school zone, you can't own a firearm. It's a gun-free zone, whether you're a law-abiding citizen or not, right? There's many ways you can lose your rights, and they're being taken away over and over again. for you people that are going on this march on the 20th. Think about this. They just made it illegal to own a magazine that holds 30 rounds, right? High capacity. It's a felony to own one. So you're going to go to this march. I hope you don't have ammunition with you. I hope you don't have magazines with you. If you do, I hope you're covering your license plates, covering your face, covering your serial number on your gun, because they're going to come for you and take your guns away from you, because you will be committing a felony. You can look down on felons all you want, but you're going to join us soon enough. All of you will. It's just the way it is. Because they have found a way around the Constitution. Because none of you actually care about the Constitution. You care about your gun rights. That's why you say it's okay to take guns from some people, not from others, at the same time screaming, the Second Amendment! We gotta uphold the Second Amendment! Guess what? You're not. The right to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. This next one, I'm going to talk about the last Civil War, this Civil War, and you people that want to succeed from the Union are not completely thinking about everything, because there's some things you haven't thought about in this scenario. And I'm going to talk about that in the next video. Till then, thank you.